The sky was an ominous shade of gray, casting a sickly pallor over the abandoned town of Millbrook. Once a quiet place nestled in the hills, it had become a ghost town overnight, homes shattered, streets deserted, and an unnatural silence that hung heavier than the fog rolling in from the nearby woods. No one knew exactly what had happened, but the whispers among the few survivors spoke of a nightmare, people turning into something else, something unrecognizable. 12-year-old Lily had been asleep when the chaos erupted. Her parents had been out of town. She'd been left alone in their house at the edge of town, the only sign of normalcy amid the unsettling silence. She remembered waking suddenly to a strange noise, not quite a scream, not quite a growl, something in between. Her heart pounding, she peeked out her window and saw her neighbors stumbling, lurching toward each other in a grotesque dance. The nightmare was real. Her parents never returned. As days passed, Lily learned to hide, to stay silent, to move only when necessary. The once lively streets had become dangerous territory, filled with the shambling undead. People she'd known, friends, neighbors, turned into soulless monsters driven by an insatiable hunger. Their eyes were vacant, glazed over, yet possessed of a terrible awareness that chilled her to the bone. One late afternoon, Lily gathered her courage and decided to make her way out of town. She carried a backpack filled with water, a few granola bars, and her father's old hunting knife, her only weapon, her only hope of survival. She'd heard stories of others who had escaped, groups hiding in the woods, making their way toward a rumored safe zone miles away. But Lily knew the woods around Millbrook well. They were thick and confusing, a labyrinth that could swallow her whole if she wasn't careful. She moved through the shadows, watching for movement behind broken shutters and collapsed fences. Every crack of a twig, every distant shuffling sound sent a jolt of fear through her. She kept her eyes on the ground, avoiding the windows, where the undead might be lurking, waiting for a mistake. Halfway through the town, Lily paused by the burned-out shell of the old mill. That's where she'd heard they'd found one of the groups trying to escape, some brave souls, or maybe just desperate. She remembered reading about how zombies didn't tire, didn't sleep. They moved tirelessly, their hunger relentless. Then she saw the figure, stumbling through the mist, tall, slow, with torn clothes hanging from a skeletal frame. It was a woman, a neighbor supposed to have grown old in her garden. But now, her face was a grotesque mask of decay, her mouth twisted into a silent snarl. Lily's breath hitched as the creature's eyes, cloudy yet piercing, turned directly toward her. Frozen with terror, Lily remembered her training, her hope. She raised her knife, gripping it tightly. The zombie lumbered closer, arms outstretched, its jaw slack. Lily's mind screamed at her to run, but her body refused to obey. She felt paralyzed, stuck in that moment of dread. Suddenly, the creature paused, then let out a guttural sound, a rasping, wet noise that was almost a laugh. It lunged forward, but Lily managed to back away just in time. Her legs moved on their own, carrying her into the nearby alley, where she flattened herself against the wall, clutching her weapon. Her heart hammered in her chest. She knew she had to keep moving, to stay out of sight. To escape, she had to outsmart the monsters, not face them head-on. As she crept through the alley, she heard more shuffles behind her, more of the undead waking from their silent, cursed rest. Trouble was, they noticed her. The sound of uneaten flesh scraping against cracked pavement, low moans and snarls, a chorus of death. Lily's eyes darted around, searching for a safe route. She spotted a ladder leading to the roof of an old shop, rusted and precarious. With no other choice, she clambered up, her hands trembling as she climbed onto the rotting wood. From the rooftop, she saw the town stretching out in every direction, an apocalyptic maze of abandoned buildings and overgrown streets. The zombies below moved listlessly, drawn by the scent of her blood or simply the hunger that had become their only purpose. Her stomach twisted with fear and fatigue. She realized she couldn't stay on the rooftop forever. She needed to find others, some way out, some hope in this living nightmare. Her mind raced with every story she'd ever heard about survivors, about safe zones, about the possibility that somewhere beyond this horror, life still existed. Then, she heard it, a faint, distant noise, like a siren or a cry for help. Hope flickered within her. She had to reach it, to find others who could fight back or help her survive. With trembling hands, She prepared to descend and face whatever horrors awaited. Suddenly, the air grew icy cold. The zombies beneath stopped their sluggish gait, as if sensing some unnatural presence. From the shadows, a figure emerged, tall, cloaked in a dark coat, eyes glowing with an unnatural light. Lily froze, her heart pounding into her throat. "Come with me if you want to live," the figure said, voice low and raspy, yet oddly commanding. Without waiting for her answer, the stranger reached out a hand. Lily hesitated, torn between fear and desperation. Then she saw the glowing eyes, and knew this wasn't a savior. It was something worse, something even the zombies feared. A dark, terrible chuckle echoed from the stranger as the shadows writhed around him. "You're not going anywhere, girl," he whispered. "There's no escape from the darkness now." Panic surged anew. Lily backed away, clutching her knife. The shadows crept closer, and in that moment, she understood the horrifying truth. Millbrook was no longer a town, no longer even a place. It was a death trap, and she was surrounded on all sides by the living dead, the living damned, and an evil beyond comprehension.